Darian's day begins like every other, pushing his cleaning cart through the gleaming lobby of Vertex Architecture until Wesley Harrington's voice cuts through the air like a fire alarm in a library. Get this worthless trash out of my sight. The $30,000 architectural model of the Dubai Tower smashes at Darian's boots, scattering jagged pieces across marble that's shinier than his entire future feels. The CEO's rage turns him into a demolition crew of one, kicking fragments toward the maintenance worker like he's sweeping breadcrumbs off a table. And of course, Darian kneels, because you can't exactly file a workplace complaint when your job's unofficial motto is "invisible is employable." 20 pairs of eyes, executives in their crisp suits, assistants clutching lattice, pretend to watch anything else while Darian bleeds from a sharp edge. Not one person offers help. The blood stains his gray uniform, a color so neutral it might as well be a camouflage pattern for corporate neglect. Historians still argue whether suits can actually see janitors in their natural habitat, or if it's a selective blindness passed down with their cufflinks. The grand entrance of Sheikh Abdullah Al-Fayed shifts the room's temperature from hostile to "oh no, the principal's here." His eyes sweep over the scene: the broken model, the bleeding janitor, the stiff-backed executives, and land on Harrington with all the warmth of a tax audit. He doesn't mince words. The Dubai Tower's foundation is fatally flawed, and they have 30 days to fix it or lose $80 million. It's the kind of problem that makes architects mutter in Latin and order triple espressos. Darian keeps his head down, but one glance at the corner of the blueprint under an assistant's arm is enough. Sees the flaw, the obvious fix, the way you might spot your own handwriting on a forgery. This is his world, the one he left when tuition gave way to hospital bills and his fingers itch for a pencil. But instead, he's ordered to mop coffee spilled deliberately over his blood. Somewhere in the back, Amara Wilson, the only black architect in the firm, watches, her expression caught between apology and curiosity. He goes home to a dark apartment, electricity off again, where dinner is stale cereal and moonlight spills over the sacred corner. His grandfather's brass compass, his sketchbooks, and Howard University textbooks from the life that almost was. By candlelight, he redraws the Dubai Tower from memory, the flaw glaring like a neon sign. The solution flows out of him, elegant, economical, stronger than anything Vertex's real architects have proposed. Some people unwind with Netflix. Darian's comfort show is structural integrity. The next morning, the lobby hums with anxiety about the Dubai project, though Darian's role in this $80 million drama is still officially trash relocation specialist. He slips into the conference room to empty bins, ears tuned like a radio left on in the kitchen. The walls are plastered with blueprint attempts, each missing the same fatal point. Xavier Chambers, Vertex's Harvard credential golden boy, is at the whiteboard pushing a halfway decent fix that collapses under the simplest wind-load math. Darian's hand twitches at the error, but Xavier swats him out of the room like a fly near his imported soup. Only Amara intervenes. "We haven't had the morning trash collected in the West Wing yet," a coded act of mercy that earns her a sneer from Xavier. Historians still argue whether small rebellions like this change anything in the moment, but they do leave fingerprints on future revolutions. By evening, the place has emptied except for a cluster of architects still stuck in design purgatory. Darian mops past the model room and spots Amara's idea, his northern support modification, being presented by Xavier as if it sprouted fully formed from his $200 haircut. The praise he basks in feels like sandpaper to Darian's ribs. In the trash nearby lies a partially damaged Dubai Tower prototype. It's salvageable. He wraps it in cleaning cloths and smuggles it home on the bus, rain drumming a rhythm of defiance. Candlelight turns his apartment into a workshop. The brass compass arcs across the model's base like it remembers the blueprint better than any hard drive. He reshapes the foundation to handle coastal winds without bulking the structure like a nervous weightlifter. Mrs. Chun from across the hall walks in with a flashlight, sees the model, and blurts, "This is not hobby work. This is professional." When he mutters "almost was," she tells him her father built bridges in Shanghai that still stand 50 years later, and that talent doesn't care about titles. Then she leaves him alone with her words hanging heavier than the damp air. At 3 a.m., his fix is complete, beautiful, efficient, and worth more than his year's wages. The problem? He's still a janitor with no degree, no water for his medication, and 3 days until eviction. But when Amara's desk sits empty the next evening, he slides the model there with a note explaining the changes and signed. Dangerous, but maybe necessary. The following morning, the executive floor buzzes differently. Through glass walls, Darien sees Amara animatedly explaining his design to colleagues. Then Xavier storms in, scoops up the model, and promises to evaluate it. Later, in Xavier's office, Darien spots the man's notes confirming every calculation in a draft email to claim the discovery as his own. It's infuriating, but not surprising. People like Xavier take, people like Darien get taken from. That night, Mrs. Chun hands him a tiny camera. "Prove what's yours," she says. So, by his last candle, Darien films himself solving the seismic issues Xavier will never manage. The compass clicking open and closed like a metronome for justice. By morning, the whispers are flying. Sheik Alfred has moved his visit up to today. Xavier is pale, sweating through his suit, because seismic reinforcement still isn't part of his vocabulary. Harrington's panic is barely hidden. $80 million can vanish faster than a snack in an office fridge. Darien finds Amara and says quietly, "I can prove it's my work, and I have the seismic solution they need." She thinks for 2 seconds before smuggling him a catering uniform and badge. "Meet me at 2:30. The team will think you're here to pour coffee." At 2:15, his landlord's text arrives. Demolition begins at 5 p.m. Anything left will be thrown out. The timing is poetic in a laugh, so you don't cry. Kind of way his home and his anonymity are both seconds from being bulldozed. He puts on the crisp white shirt, straightens his shoulders, and pockets his grandfather's compass. This time he'll be seen. The boardroom gleams like a cathedral to glass and steel. Darien moves quietly, topping off water glasses as Xavier launches into his stolen foundation fix. The Sheik's engineers nod until one asks about Category 4 seismic events. Xavier Fumblas. The Sheik insists, "Address them now." Silence falls heavy enough to dent the mahogany. Darien steps forward, voice even. The vulnerability isn't in the modified northern supports at the integration points. He marks the blueprint with the compass, sketches 3 triangular reinforcement struts, runs through the math like he's reciting his own address. The chief engineer checks his tablet, then nods. "These calculations are correct." Gasps ripple. Xavier sputters about eavesdropping, but Darien counters with formulas that don't come from mopping floors. Proof rolls out on his phone, video of him building and calculating every piece. Amara backs him. The Sheik listens, then turns to Harrington. "Add him to the project with proper title and pay, or I take my contract elsewhere." Harrington tries to stall. The Sheik insists it's settled here and now. By day's end, Darien has a badge that says Architectural Consultant and a binding agreement protecting the tenants Harrington's development company had been forcing out, including Mrs. Chun. Someone in the corner has recorded the whole thing, and by morning the real architect is trending. The footage travels through industry circles, then mainstream news, sparking debates historians still argue about. Is talent born, made, or just hidden until the right moment? Weeks later, Darien stands at the Dubai Tower groundbreaking in his first real suit. The Sheik tells him, "The true builder sees the palace in the sand before others see even a grain." Back home in his new apartment, his grandfather's compass sits beside an acceptance letter from Howard University's completion program and blueprints for a community center in his old neighborhood. His maintenance badge hangs in a simple frame beside his new credentials, a quiet reminder that worth isn't measured by job title. The work goes on into the night, not for validation now, but for the joy of shaping spaces that will outlast him. And somewhere between the scratch of pencil on paper and the slow arc of the compass, the world finally sees the architect who was there all along.